Hi, how you doing? Back with another episode of 5 Minute Word. Today's passage comes from 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 12. Let me read that for you. Encouraging, comforting, and urging you to live lives worthy of God who calls you into his kingdom and glory. I want to suggest that if you can, try to read the entire chapter of 1 Thessalonians. If you have time, try to read the entire book. As it's meant to be read as an entire letter. But in chapter 2, Paul, he mentions here, he says that I've come not only with the gospel, not only sharing the gospel with you, but also sharing our lives with you as well. And one thing that I want to mention is that as Christians and believers, as we hold on to the gospel that God has given to us in the gospel, as Paul held on to as well, it should result in naturally not only sharing of the message, not only sharing of the word, but sharing our life as well, our time, our care, our efforts, etc. And that may seem like, okay, well, that seems really religious, giving my efforts and time and care. And as I've mentioned in previous 5 Minute Word episodes, it's not so much the actual physical things that we do and actual time that we spend. Of course, we need to do those things, but it's how and why and how, by what power, by what grace, how you're doing those things is everything. And Paul, as we know, discovered something by the grace of God. The same thing that we need to discover also is it's not about just giving our time and caring for others and our efforts, but it's seeing the value of the gospel that we have that encourages us to actually to do that, to be instruments of God. It's not only to know the gospel, it's to experience the reality of the gospel. And when we do that, when we can experience the reality of what God has done for us, displayed for us on the cross, then naturally, when we are within that experience of reality of our salvation, giving our time, giving our care, our love, our work produced, our labor produced by love, becomes natural and easy. And the passage that we read, the verse that we read, encouraging, comforting, and urging you to live lives worthy of God, is in the same line of living. Living worthy of God, for his kingdom and glory, comes naturally when you realize the value of which God has called you and paid the price to call you into his kingdom and to his family. I really bless you in Jesus' name and encourage you to live a life worthy of God. Another way to say that is to live a life worthy of the value of salvation that you have. It's an amazing thing to think about if you meditate and think deeply about what Christ has done for us. And now our security, our guarantee of inheritance that awaits is something that we can enjoy now, today, not only later, but right now. And the way and the direction that we go into, Paul ends this chapter encouraging and exhorting them to do what? To go out into the Gentiles. And he mentions the Jews that have lost this commission of God, having the word, not knowing its purpose, having this gospel, not knowing its value, not knowing its true power. The sign of that, not knowing that value and power, is the direction in which you live out your faith. Our faith is meant to be lived out for the sake of evangelism and missions, to tell others gently, patiently, with love, the wonderful good news that Jesus is the Christ, that God has come in history into our world, into this broken world, and has come to solve the problems that cannot be solved by any other way. I bless you in Jesus' name that you have this wonderful day holding on to the gospel, keeping your eyes set upon evangelism missions. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.